Josh, you can come back with us, under certain conditions, of course.
I already made you a promise.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of TWD Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Survival of the Fittest. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Survival of the Fittest Season 4. This is going to be for episode 5, which is called Once a Rat, Always a Rat. Okay guys, just going to be doing a review for today. This one's going to be doing a video for Survival of the Fittest. This one is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Survival of the Fittest Season 4. This is for the kind of mid-season finale-ish, even though we're not getting a break, but kind of the midway point for this season, which is Season 4, Episode 5, Once a Rat, Always a Rat. So, very freaking awesome episode this week. Holy crap. So, this week's episode, hands down, is the best episode of Season 4. I don't really think that's any kind of comparison to the others. This episode was really freaking good. So basically the storyline of this week's episode is Josh obviously has now captured David. We get to see that. We get to see that David is now captured and Maya is going to keep an eye on the community while he's out there and doing the deal with the Godfather. Now, we get a few scenes, where David's kind of calling him bluff and stuff like that, and kind of saying like, you're not going to do it. You need me, so you're not going to kill me, stuff like that. But essentially in this one, we get to see a meetup between Josh and the Godfather, which I thought was just absolutely crazy, as the Godfather leaves Troy in charge, and then he, of course, goes off. Now, the meeting itself, oh man, now, I gotta tell you one thing right now. This meeting was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. And essentially, Josh, he does succeed. He does get David to the Godfather. But during the meeting, Josh, of course, kind of as things, kind of start to go bad, you got David that kind of gets taken out, and the Godfather was like, oh, nice to see you, and stuff like that. And then basically Josh, and everything, it all just hell breaks loose, basically. And you've got Josh that, of course, sets off the grenade, and you see a bunch of the capos get killed, and nearly the Godfather as well, too. Now, that is when the action really just picks up in this one, when you get to see the shootout, and you kind of get the back and forth action. I thought that was really, really cool. And essentially, you get to see a just all-out fight, like just a huge all-out fight in this one. And the thing I love about this fight is that it's not just a restricted amount of characters. You actually get David, you get Josh, you get Blair, you get Jeremy, who also come into this fight, as well as Clay and Dog / Andrew. They come in. And it's just like this all-out fight. And I thought it to be an amazing fight all the way through. The music was awesome. It kept you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And I remember I'm kind of sitting there too, and I remember, Matt even said, like, this is a mid-season finale-ish episode. So for a second, and I didn't tell Matt I ever thought this, actually. I forgot to tell him this. I swear, for a second there, I was like, are you going to actually just go totally crazy and kill the Godfather this episode? There was a moment where I was like, oh, maybe. Like maybe. It was like a small second, and then the thought kind of just left me. But when you see the Godfather, like, tripping over the mountains, he's, like, rolling down, and he's, like, getting shot at, I was like, oh crap, like, could he actually die, And then the thought kind of left me. But I'll be honest, it was a thought that crossed my mind during the fight. Just because of what was at stake, I kind of was like, maybe, maybe not, But essentially, everyone fights, we get a huge battle, and basically a bunch of capos get killed during the process. Now, let's talk about Josh, because Josh is, you guys know, I have not been impressed with this character recently. Not a fan of the storyline that this guy's had. I'm just not a fan of the kind of betraying David storyline. Again, I'm not too big into that. But I will say one thing right now. This death scene for him, wow. Honestly, I mean, wow. So, essentially, guys, Josh is killed in this episode. David kind of talks to him at first. He's like, okay, well, under these conditions, you can actually come back with us, And I remember I'm sitting there for a second. I'm like, come back with us? Prove yourself. dude, you are taking a major chance. And of course, as you see, yeah, that's not what David wants to do at all. If anything, he just wanted to kind of make the moment more peaceful, so then it's easier for him to kill Josh. And essentially, that is exactly what he does. He Rick Grimes that crap, and he frickin' just nails him right in the middle of his head with the frickin' machete and kills him. So, awesome. I mean, frickin' awesome. So, love the Josh death. I thought that was really good. Also needed, I feel like, for the story. I feel like we do have to get back to the Godfather a little bit more. So I'm happy that we're kind of through with that storyline. So in doing that, this death was awesome. I think, this death was really great. It kind of came as a surprise. You could kind of feel it coming, but then when the moment came, it just... oh my god, man, honestly, it was incredible. So, that is my thoughts on Josh's death. I thought that was absolutely awesome. And essentially, let's talk about, now that we're through that, let's talk about the actual big villain, though, the Godfather. They get away, and essentially, they capture Cade. So, that is a crazy development. So, Cade is now captured. Obviously, he is still angry after the death of Jack, and we kind of know he's going to get revenge for that. He even says it this episode. But next week, he's going to be fighting that Derek guy in episode 6, and we're going to have to see who wins that fight. I don't think Cade's dead next week, though. I easily do not think Cade is dead. So I definitely think that Cade will either kill Derek, or there will just not be any casualties or anything like that. That's what I'm kind of thinking. But in particular, I really think that this Cade being locked up and being captured by the Godfather thing is going to make for some crazy developments coming up soon. So that's going to be something special. Now, we also get to see in this one Blair. It sounds like he's getting locked away, probably for good, which is pretty shocking. So we'll have to see what comes of that. Jeremy don't seem too happy about it, but again, we'll see where it goes. And then basically the Godfather and David make the time to meet at the end of the episode. So we'll have to see exactly where that goes. And of course, in episode 6, we'll have to see if we get a meeting or if that's pushed to episode 7. So, all right. This episode, awesome. I only have one flaw with this week's episode. And that is the Troy stuff. I think the Troy stuff could have been eliminated from this episode completely. I think Troy and him being in charge back at the, the Godfather's place, it kind of interrupted the fight a little bit for me, and I've kind of gone back in the episode too to make sure, I actually can kind of say that. It does a little bit for me. It kind of interrupts the fight when you got kind of like these slow scenes with Troy, and then you're right back into the action. I kind of feel like the battle with Josh and them should have just flowed on its own, honestly. This could have even been just a bottle episode with Josh and David and all the group coming together and fighting, and then you get a minor scene with Cade, and you get, David and all that. You keep all that. But I feel like focusing back at home with Troy and them, it just kind of felt like filler. I kind of feel like it wasn't needed to be there. But either way, aside from that, this episode, awesome. It's an awesome episode. So this is my thoughts on this week's episode. I'm going to go a 9.5. I think it's damn good. It's the best episode of Season 4 so far. This one feels like a Season 3 quality episode. It really, really does. It brings me back to those times. And I thought it was incredible. I thought it was an incredible episode. Very, very well done. And I think that the Josh storyline now being wrapped up also leaves the room now for the Godfather to, in my opinion, shine a little bit more and have more screen time than the Josh, storyline now that that's over. So, very happy with this week's episode, but now I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of this week's episode of Survival of the Fittest? Let me know and write your comments in the comment section below. And of course, guys, if you're new here, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos for Survival of the Fittest. Follow Dan's Walk Reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another video for Survival of the Fittest. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?